Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Midday Magazine for this Thursday, January 9th, 2025. Have your host, James J. Malouf here. At part two, we're going to speak with Matt Lipper, UW-Madison Extension Wood County Ag Agent. Right now, we have with us on the phone Gary O. Gary is joining us to talk about the Central Wisconsin Modeling Railroaders Train Show coming up January 11th through the 12th over at the Holiday Inn. We're talking about the 27th annual one, and we'll be talking about that in a moment. Gary, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, James, for having me on.
Gary, I appreciate the time and looking forward to diving into model training with you and talking about this more. But first, if you don't mind, I am a history buff. I love the origin stories of things. Can we talk about a little bit of the history of the 27th Annual Model Railroad Show and Sale?
Boy, and I love history too. We're on the same page.
All right.
Sure, the history of the train show. Most of us belong to multiple railroad clubs. We all do conventions. We all do shows. We're trying to promote the hobby. And if you look at the Central Wisconsin Model Railroaders, which is located in Stevens Point, this is our 27th year. People that have come in the past. I mean, we used to be at the old Holidome downtown. We've moved it around. It's really nice at the new convention center, but it brings people together. It's so fun to see families with their kids, and the kids are so excited they cry when they have to leave because they see trains and there's Thomas the Tank and all the stuff like that. So it's really a wonderful event. We've been doing it for a long time. I've been coming to this. I came to this show well before I even moved to Stevens Point. So it's a good show.
It looks like a group of people got together back in 1987, and the ball really got rolling there. The train really got on the tracks there, if I can. There's the metaphor I was looking for.
And I know a lot of those people, and sad to say some of them paid away, but you look at the club here, and they restored the Bancroft Depot that's in Heritage Park, kind of down by Quick Trip right off of Plover B there. And they did the caboose. I mean, we all try to restore the history. We're all history buffs like you. We like to preserve this for generations to come, and it's fun.
The 27th annual show will be Saturday 9 to 5 and Sunday 10 to 3. We're going to talk a little bit more about that in a moment. But first, Gary, what is model railroading?
Well, we in the hobby call it the world's greatest hobby. It's so multifaceted. I mean, there's so much to do it. And the cool thing is, model railroaders, train hobbyists, you create a three-dimensional railroad. It's something actual. It's not a pitch or whatever. I mean, it's a 3D thing. It's got life to it. It's a mix of nostalgia and history. So, if you grew up sometime and you really liked that period of time, you can actually create that in time. So it's a historical thing. Other people I know, they like going out west. Guess what they have on their layouts? They have Colorado mountains and stuff, and they have the roads from out there because as a kid, that's what they used to do. Or the grandparents used to work for the Sioux Line. It just goes on and on. But the cool thing about model railroading, all age groups enjoy it. You can be from the smallest to the oldest. It's such a neat hobby.
It's got such a wide range of people involved in it too. I noticed this when I was doing some research this weekend on our conversation we were going to have, and it just seems like any type of person you can think of, young, old, all different races and sexes and everything. It just seems like a big group of people, which is always fun to me. I think whenever you find a hobby that you're interested in, that part of it is great, but then you find that group of people that are also interested in it, and it just kind of heightens the hobby.
Yeah, you can be in a wheelchair and enjoy model railroading. I mean, how many hobbies can you do that in? I mean, it's unbelievable.
Yeah. Now, Gary, how did you get started into this?
I actually had, like most kids, I had a Lionel train set. I had 4 sisters, so they had the Barbies, and I had a little corner in the basement for my train set, so that's how I grew up. And then 2 boys. I made the first one wanted to get into model trains. I was part of a railroad club. He had so much fun, go every weekend. Then the other one did too, and made the kids save $100 each. And we started model trains. And one is really into it. The other one, he moved into some other things, but he still likes coming to the shows. So I've been doing this since I probably was 8 or 9 years old.
That's really cool to hear, and it's great. It feels so good as a dad. I mean, you said that, and I immediately got my heart filled up. Just the idea of passing this on to your kids and them getting into something you got into, and some of that's pretty cool. But you mentioned something there too, Gary, with showing it to your kids, and I immediately thought of I always love the add-ons to things, and it feels like, well, this is a fun hobby. It's interesting. It gets a lot of creativity out there, and you can be very creative with it. It also teaches teaches a lot of patience from what I've read. It also teaches a lot of things that we try to teach our kids, but whether we're successful at it or not, we may try to teach them. This seems like a really cool hobby where they're having fun, but they're also learning, some life skills involved in this.
My oldest son, he'd come home from school. Dad would have all the parts cut out. Him and 2 or 3 of his friends would come over and screw all the decking down. They'd have so much making stuff. They were so proud of what they're making. They were making stuff with their hands. I mean,
yes.
It's not reading out of a book. It's not playing on a computer. It's not playing on a phone or whatever. You get to make stuff. They learn wiring. They learn. It's such a neat hobby.
There is so much to that. Very well put. When you can create things on Minecraft and things like that, I'm sure. But when you're physically doing something with your hands, and then you see the finished product physically in real life, there's something different about that. And I think a lot of people are nodding their head to that one. Whether it's making a model train or even putting a Lego set together, you can kind of relate to that. I think. I appreciate you. I appreciate you sharing that, Gary. Now to kind of to go to the origin story of where this all started, where model railroading started.
And like you doing research, I did the same thing, and I knew a lot of these answers. But you look at trains; it basically started in Europe. That's when we had the first steam engines. Way back in 1860, they started making wood trains, toys, and engines and stuff for kids to push around because they wanted to have their own, because they'd see it running along the tracks.
How wild is that? I would have never guessed that. I think that is so cool. That's pretty interesting.
And they're expensive to buy. They're antiques.
I bet. And then in 1875, things got going even further with this.
And that's when tin plate came out. And it's basically like a tin can that you get your vegetables in. They make cars out of tin plate. They bend them and they paint them, and you can start getting things a little more realistic. And the cool thing back then is they were wind-up engines. You had a key. And you might have seen some of those from great-great-grandparents and stuff. You'd wind up and they go around the track and make a lot of noise and whatever. So 1875 was kind of key thing. 1897.
Oh, we're losing you a little bit there.
Electric. Sorry, for motors. It didn't take too long to put an electric motor in a train engine.
Which is wild to think of.
And you think how long ago that was too. I mean, 1860s, 150 years ago. But 1897 was key. Yeah.
Because that's when they really started to not just adapt this, but other toys with incorporating this new electricity that we had and everything.
I had a electric robot, when I was a battery robot with a kid. You know how much fun that was to play with?
Yeah. 1901, things really got moving then too.
Yeah, Lionel started. I can't remember his first name, but Lionel Train started. He's got initials to it, and that really took it off. You started seeing train sets at Christmas stores. Disney got involved with it. Walt Disney had a 5-acre thing by his house that he had a big train layout going. It was 1/8 scale. A lot of that was how he developed Disneyland. And if you guys remember Steam Car Willie, that was the first train appearing on TV. I mean, all that just got kids and everybody excited about trains.
And then in the 40s, they started incorporating some more stuff with that.
And that big thing is, and I don't know if that's good or bad for our country, for environment, but plastic injection started. They started making plastic parts, and then we could start getting cars, engines, and trucks that actually looked really good. And that's really when the hobby started taking off, because then you could start painting and customizing stuff your own. And you look at today, you can buy anything, you can make anything. This 3D printing, I don't know if, James, if you've been exposed to 3D printing, it's just unbelievable what you can make on it. You can make anything now. Anything.
It is incredible. And it's, to me, one of the cooler things to see is when something new, some new tech like 3D printing assists and helps out something that has been around for a while. And something like this, it just brings it to a whole new audience, a whole new generation.
James, I don't know how old you are. Did you have a train as a kid?
I had actually like a Lincoln log train. I had a little wooden one. I had it was really fun. I remember playing with. My papa was a semi driver, and he was really into trains. And I grew up in Chicago, so you got the L train, you got all kinds of trains are a big part of your life when you grow up in that area. You got Union Station and all that. So I've always had a love of trains and riding in them. It wasn't until I had kids that I started to get them a train set and really got into the whole idea of it, the hobby of it and everything. It's a really fun hobby.
Well, you remember the old power packs? You'd hook it up and you just put the knobs back and forth, and some had a push button or run the horn.
Yeah.
Well, kids are running trains now with their telephones, smartphones. It's called Engine Driver. There's a couple you put on your phone. You log in, put the engine number into your phone, and you run the train with your phone on the outside of the layout. You don't even have to.
I saw that, and it blew me away. I thought that was, I didn't even know about that until this weekend. I thought that was awesome. That is a really cool part. And another neat thing about this, I would think, Gary, is we're just getting started on seeing how tech and how these things can really impact this hobby.
Yeah, it's growing. I'm having troubles keeping up with technology. I'm 69 years old, and the kids have no problem with this. I mean, you got a problem, you ask a fifth grader these days.
Yeah, right. And now we're speaking with Gary O, and we're talking about the 27th annual Model Railroad Show in Sale that is coming to Stevens Point January 11th and 12th, the Artic Run 2025. You mentioned this is a multifaceted hobby. What can we get a little deeper into that? What do you mean by that, Gary?
Sure, we're going to go back to your history. Most people, they're building a train. Oh, you want to learn the history. You got a specific train or where you want to have it routed. Mine's going to be based basically from Plover up to Wausau, up to Rhinelander to Green Bay, and back to Waupaca and things. I'm going to have a whole route. You're going to recognize buildings. I mean, I'm going to have a Point Brewery on it, McCain Foods. I'm going to have industry so I can have my train do stuff. So people do. It's a history thing, and then and that leading into it, what do you want to have for industries? What do you want to have for towns? What do you want to have for landscape scenes? Do you want to have hills? Do you want to have mountains? Do you want to have lots of trees? What do you want to name your industries after? A lot of people name them after their friends, or if they got downtown Main Street buildings, they name them after family members. It's so much fun. Then you get to plan, design it. A lot of people take photos of what they want to do or go to the library, and they'll try to match the scene exactly. I mean, right down to the period car or whatever. It's so much fun. And the best thing about this hobby, you use just a ton of skill sets: carpentry, electrical, how to paint, how to make mountains, how to make trees. And I mean, it's such a cool thing, and everybody has skills, and we get together, and they always come together.
And then once you do all this, you get to operate the trains.
Oh, that's the fun part. You get to operate trains, and the whole layout comes to life. It's just unbelievable. People come over, and they say, yeah. In our days when we were small, we just ran the trains round and around. Well, now this time, hey, you're dropping off trains. You got passengers. I got to drop some tank cars at the paper mill, and I got to pick up their paper stock, just like the real railroad. You actually make just like a real railroad to run. It's real. You're actually, and a lot of our hobbyists are actually former railroad engineers and conductors, and they're really fun. I've been in some operating sessions. People, you have to use hand signals just like they do when they're unhooking and hocking cars. They don't even talk. They just do just like the railroad. They're recreating history.
That's really cool. Not only that, recreating of history, but giving opportunity for some understanding of these positions, these jobs. You get your kid involved in this, and we just never know where a spark may start in a child. And yes, maybe it starts a love affair with this hobby. It may even start a love affair with just trains in general and working in that industry. And we could always use more good people in that industry.
Well, they learn skills that they can use in the real world. I mean, I got 3 kids. My daughter went to UW-Madison. She was the one always helping the boys change light bulbs in their cars now because she knew how to use a 10-millimeter socket or trying new stuff. I taught my kids how to do all that stuff. It's a perfect opportunity for dads to teach their kids how to do things and have fun at the same time. And I've seen things, a lot of these shows, the grandparents bring the kids. And the kids don't want to. They have so much fun with Grandma and Grandpa.
They and just as a side note too, while I don't know, I've seen a lot of different people involved in this when you look at pictures and history of this event. But this event has grown so much, not just with sons and grandparents and all that and dads, but women have gotten a lot more involved in this in recent years.
They are the best artistic people for painting scenery and stuff. I can't, you want to do something, you just let them paint it. I mean, if you want a mountain scene or you want clouds in the distance, they just have more fun doing that stuff.
Yeah, and Gary, I can't even draw a stick figure, so I hear you. I completely agree with you, man. And just touching on that part, going back just for a second, because in doing the research for this, and I really didn't know much about this hobby, but I appreciate not only you joining us and sharing this information and more people can know, but for me personally, I was blown away by how much I would enjoy this hobby if I gave it a chance, and I think I'm going to. One of the things that I really enjoy, I'm a planner. I like planning things out. I like mapping things out, and I never really thought much about the idea of, okay, you decide you want to do this. The next step is kind of planning and mapping out what you want to do, how you want your train to look, the things that Gary was just telling you about. That part sounded so cool to me. All these other things are fantastic and awesome and getting to operate the train and everything. But the idea of mapping this out the way you like to, what you want, that seemed really cool. That seemed like a really fun part of this.
Well, I'm going to have Wausau Insurance up in Wausau. I always thought that building was so cool, that depot up there. I mean, you find stuff, you say, I'm from Green Bay. I'm going to have some Green Bay landmarks on there.
It's pretty cool.
When people come to visit, they go, geez, that's the old Red Old warehouse. I remember that.
That's awesome. Gary, what is the best way to get into this hobby?
Well, great lead-in question. You want to come to a model train show. You need to come to a model train show. You get to see stuff. I mean, there's all different sizes of trains, from littlest ones to the biggest ones, garden scale. I mean, it's unbelievable what you get to see, and it'll plant a seed. And you'll probably walk away buying a few things, or at least coming back with a lot of ideas. But I think that's the number one thing. And then my next one, which is really important, don't try to do it on your own. Join a model railroad club. That was the best thing. My kids would just love to go, and they had to do their homework first because meeting, and they'd get their homework done right because we're going to the train club show, and they'd have so much fun. And we'd work on the layout for the club layout and stuff. But I think the next thing is a model railroad club, because what's going to happen is you're going to have people come join you that have skills that you don't have. You're going to learn just as much. You're going to learn so much more, and you're going to do it so much better the first time around.
There are a lot of great organizations locally in our area, too, that you could check out to find out more about this. Yeah.
Central Wisconsin Model Railroad Clubs in Stevens Point. That's the club that's hosting this one. They've been around 40 years at least. And they meet every Wednesday of the first Wednesday of the month at Heritage Park in Plover. If you remember where I mentioned earlier about the Bancroft Depot, they actually remodeled. They meet in the basement, and they get together. And you just need to be 18 years old to become a member. Okay, if not, your dad has to bring you. If you're underage, there's no dues, and it's just to have fun. And then there's other clubs. Wapaka will be at the show. I'll be running with them the weekend. Wisconsin, Michigan, which is out of Marinette, Menominee, where I used to live, I'll be with them running some of the day. I know so many people, different club members all over the country. It's unbelievable how you get to meet people. I know there's a really nice club. If you ever get a chance to go up to Yankee Museum up in Wausau, the Wisconsin Valley Model Railroad Club, it's actually what they call the paper route, which is to go from Wisconsin Rapids up to Wausau. They're modeling that. It is the coolest thing. If you like history, you want to go see that layout. And if you go with them when they're running it, that's even better. Maybe they'll let you run a train.
There are so many great opportunities for people to find out more. And Gary, as we're closing with, could you give us the details on the model train show this weekend?
Sure, James. Again, I just said it's the 27th annual Artic Run Model Railroad Show and Sale. They actually sell stuff there. It'll be at the Holiday Inn Convention Center. I'll give you the address. People put it in their GPS. 1001 Amber Avenue in Stevens Point, but it's basically off of Highway 10. It's just a little bit east of Fleet Farm, and where the new Hobby Lobby is, just kind of north across the street from it, right next to the Holiday Inn. You can't miss it. It's really easy to find. Admission is $5 for adults, $2 for kids or for children aged 12 to 17, but under is free. And the reason they charge is they have to pay for the facility, but any money that's after expenses of that expense, everything goes to nonprofit. It goes to local charities because all the railroad clubs are nonprofit. We're members. We don't get paid or anything. We're just doing this to promote the hobby and to have fun. But so it's kind of a cool thing, and I'm hoping a lot of your listeners and even you come to the show.
I would love to. I really would. It's going to be a really fun event, and we want to remind everybody that not only is this fun for people that are into the hobby, but people that want to find out about the hobby. Head on over there, ask your questions. The gang over there is looking forward to answering those. And it's something that we've touched on a little bit throughout the conversation. We know that there's plenty of people out there in these winter months that are isolated a little bit more than others, or maybe don't get out as much much as they'd like to. This is a great opportunity to get out, meet some new people, hang out, and meet some people that have a great hobby and a great interest. And I think just even that, just showing up and asking your questions, I think will lead to a great time.
And they have the Holiday Inn does a super job. They'll have food for us. It's reasonable compared to other cities. I'm hoping we have the banjo player there playing railroad songs again. He's just a character. He does his thing. But they use both sides of the convention center. So if that middle section, they take the whole left side, which is like usually 3 or 4 rooms, plus they take the right side. We fill the whole thing. It's unbelievable how much you'll see.
Gary, I feel like we buried a bit of the lead. I love banjo. I love banjo players. That's awesome. That's fantastic. What a great addition to that. I do want to also, and I think you mentioned this earlier, the Central Wisconsin Model Railroaders have a great Facebook page. Go ahead and check that out. You can find out more information there and find out more about model train hobbying there as well. Gary, this has been a great conversation. Thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Well, I'm hoping you come this weekend and look for me, because I'll let you. I got a remote control. You can run the train on the outside and blow the horn as it goes through intersections. You'll stop and beat past. You might have to back trains up, just like the real thing.
Man, that is awesome. Thank you. Thank you
It'll
for
make
offering
you a kid
that.
again.
Yes,
make you a kid again.
Just talking about it just made me a kid again. Just thinking about it does, man. It sounds great. And wishing you guys a fun, successful weekend. Enjoy it. And Gary, you did too good of a job. You're going to have to come back sometime, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for the time,
Have a great
Gary.
day.
You too. And we'll be back with more Midday Magazine right here at 97.5 FM, 1320 AM, WFHR. We are locally grown radio.